Blaze here with some observations about recent changes to 7 Days to Die by Fun Pimps. Due to recent updates, I've had to start over. This is normal. It's a game in early stages after release. I'm not going to complain about that because the changes I'm seeing since pre-release are pretty good changes. Today, I've done 2 things differently. The first is I'm using my own dedicated server called BRE v1.0 server. I've made it public so you can see all the work on my base in person, kind of. There's only up to 8 people. All are welcome as long as there are player slots available. However, you do need to bear in mind that the dedicated server program is not perfect. I found that right after release I was able to connect the first time, but the next connection failed and dropped the server. This is not happening as much since the update b313, but it still does happen. If anyone has an idea why this is happening and has a fix for it, please leave a respectful comment below and let me know. I'd love to get this issue resolved. The second thing I changed is the gender of my character. I'd like you to meet Rexia. She's been on her own since some weirdo that calls himself the Duke left her out in the middle of nowhere with only her underwear. She never met the guy and is frankly a little pissed at being accused of not paying some dumbass debt she never incurred. Clearly a case of mistaken identity. However, if that asshole is still alive in this zombie apocalypse, she has vowed to mercy the motherfucker before he's even zombified. Like a proactive mercying, if you will. I don't know, I just think it's funny that out of all the options out there to explain why your character has found themselves out in the boonies in their skivvies, they settled on the loan shark idea for release. I mean, it could have been a hazing prank, a sleepwalk, even a midnight tour from the RCMP, I don't know. So this is a newer design based off of an older design that I stopped using because being this high up caused falling damage to zombies, who would immediately get pissed and start hammering at the base of my structure. Seeing that recent changes have resulted in zombies hammering randomly at the base during Blood Moon regardless, I brought the height back up again. I might as well take some health off them if they're gonna be like that. I'm quickly inspecting the base structure to find the areas that need protecting from zombie abuse. One thing to note is the base of the billboard. During the last Blood Moon, the zombies were hitting it like there were no more tomorrows. It was all I could do to keep them off of the idea by shooting down on their heads. After inspecting the supports, a mere couple more hits on any one of them could have sent the entire structure to the ground and us with it. So, a word of advice is to just not use the billboard or any other POIs. One thing for sure though, once the demolition zombies start appearing, we'll need an entirely different concept. After I get some dirty water started on the campfire, I'll head out and start hunting for food-related POIs. I used to do this for farms that had fields of corn, but sadly that is no longer as common after the recent release. I may have to take a trip out of town to find farm POIs, and I'm not entirely sure if that's even possible. I think I'll search the perimeter of town, but I'll be foraging for eggs on the way. I'm also looking for any farm or garden POIs. Poor Rexy is so hungry, so today one of the ideas I'll show you is foraging for food. You can avoid dying of starvation by using a combination of foraging technique and raids on specific POIs. You'll use these ideas while getting your little farm working. Luckily, living off the land allows the ability to make farm blocks quite early on. So, achieving food security can be relatively quick. Of course, you'll need to find seeds to use until you read a few books on farming. Fridges with canned food. I mean, who in their right mind would refrigerate cans of tuna? Uh-oh, someone woke up. You know, I wouldn't normally expect a knife to be in the toilet. You know, paper maybe, corn absolutely, especially in this game. But a knife? I can't help but envision that someone at Fun Pimps puts cans in the fridge, meat in the cupboard, and probably shits in their sink. I know, Rexy, I know. Poor girl. Okay. Fun Pimps, you got a problemo with your water tower. Okay, what was that? Let's try that again. Here, guys. Let's just try it again. Come on. That's just cute. Where did Rexy get the time in the apocalypse to do her nails? I honestly don't find feathers that useful, you know, practically, for a very long period of time. Maybe one day in game time, possibly. But really early, I end up starting with a pipe machine gun, pipe pistol, pipe shotgun, and using arrows while trying to figure out that stupid distance elevation for the shot, which I suck at, let's be honest. It's just too steep of a curve. I'll just use my guns. I appreciate them being there that early. Anyway, I'm searching for eggs. They are some of the most readily available foraging items that can be immediately used to keep you from starving to death. Finding them is not as difficult as it seems. I learned to search for eggs and tree stumps from ants. They use a more random method, but I refined it to just a zigzag pattern that covers more ground than a straight line would. Some of you guys are already doing this. You're not going to get eggs all the time, but your average does go up without going too far from your town or base. So I guess I just have to conclude that crops won't be found in a town anymore. Gonna clear some space. These things are pretty much everywhere. Let's see. Now that the hunger level is redlining, we can see just how much you can get by foraging for eggs to and from missions. It's not insignificant, and when you combine it with other small items, it can add up to a relatively full belly. I'll just close that. Damn, that noise is so annoying. I hate those. Sometimes they're just too damn stupid. I guess it's up front and personal. Wow, seriously? Loser. From here on, I've already scouted and assure you there are no farms and no crops. But I'll still cruise through to see if any new lootable garbage or nests popped in. Well, that's it for now. Next video will introduce a test base for Blood Moon 3. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Thank you.